Alrighty, bow hunters, welcome back to another episode. Sitting here online with Logan Hawker. Logan, thank you for joining me, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me, mate.
Bro, you're welcome. You took some incredible animals this year. The fallow buck, I want you to explain it a little bit because by the photo, it looks like it's got a triceratop head, like it's like three prong paddle on one side. What's going on with that head?
It's yeah, like you said, it's just crazy. It's
It's
absolutely
unique, right? It's like very
yeah,
cool.
yeah. You don't even in that area, you never see him like that really. But well, Jace earlier in the year took one like very similar, but it was
Mm.
a bit younger. But I don't know if you've seen that one. He had the exact same stuff sort of going on, but just that
Bro,
younger buck.
is it essentially the palm has split, but then what's that one that comes
Mm.
off the side? Is that kind of like a false guard time? Not sure.
I'm not sure. It's just something crazy, just something crazy. It's yeah, it was pretty cool buck. He just had stuff hanging off him everywhere. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
just couldn't
wicked.
believe it when we walked up to him. It was just yeah, it was crazy.
Well, let's start with that. It's a good way to open it up. Let's start with a story about a deer. Why not, hey?
Yeah, that's it. So he was actually one of the bucks I didn't even see on this place. Like had no idea he was there. We hunted for I think it was a week. Me and Jace were out in the bush for the rut, and yeah, we shot a couple of bucks each or whatever. But and then we decided just one random day, like stuff it, we'll just go out one more time, have a little look around, and see what's around. And of course, that's when it all worked out. So he, we always split on this place just to get through the number of deer or something like that,
Mm.
and I had a pretty rough morning. It was pretty slow, and he came out, and I was coming back to the car, and I thought, oh, maybe the arvo will produce something else. It was pretty quiet in general, like no
Yeah.
real croaks or anything, and and then I got back to the car, and I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'll just sit there and have a bit of lunch. But as I got back to the car, I heard one croak, and I was like, ah, stop it. I had a pretty slow morning, so. I decided to drop down. It was a pretty steep, thick, nasty gully. Like it's probably the thickest part and steepest part of the property. And I was like, oh, I'll just go have a look.
Hence why
I
the
got
biggest goal's
down.
there.
Yeah, that's right. So I got down to, I dropped down about, I don't know, 100 meters from the car off the top of the ridge. And he, I spotted this younger buck and I thought, oh, maybe he made the noise like he was just mucking around. He had no does or anything. I was like, oh, I'll just give him a few doe calls anyways and just out of interest see if he'll come up to me and gave him a few doe calls and he just would not move for like and I was like, what is going on here? And then all of a sudden, out of this thick little tea tree staff over on the side, I just heard one croak and then sure enough this big fella just come cruising out and he just and when I seen him put the binos up to him, I was like, wow, what is going on there? I had no idea. And then he obviously was the dominant buck and then pushed off this younger fella and he slowly like it took like no joke about 10 minutes to this fella. He was real interested, but
Just
just
taking his
he was
time. Yeah.
just really taking his time and it was crazy. But so I was sitting there it felt for like ever. And then between me and him there was a gully. Like he was only probably 60, 70 yards from me, but there was a
Yeah.
pretty steep gully coming through. And I lost sight of him as soon as he sort of ducked down into the gully. And then I was sitting there, the wind was blowing pretty good when I first spotted him. But what he actually ended up doing was coming down below me and coming up into the wind. And all of a
Smart old boy.
sudden, yeah, it was just all of a sudden he was right there, like 12 yards from me. Like it was crazy. And it was the steepest shot I've probably ever taken on a deer, actually.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and so I came back. I just spotted him as the wind was sort of, yeah, it
bit
was all
iffy.
right. It
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was switching around and stuff. But I come back to full draw. I had to come over a tree, over the top of a tree, and then bring it down back onto him. And then he stood there, lucky long enough for me, shot the break, and it sort of actually entered at sort of the top of his neck
Yeah.
and came out under his arm. So it was like a real steep downhill shot. But
Yeah. Wow.
he only ran, I don't know, 15, 20 yards from that. Like,
So
was
did he see your movement over the tree, like as you drew over the tree at all?
yeah, he was looking directly at me, but I don't think he could figure it out because I had such a like thick background
Backdrop and
on
everything
him.
behind you, yeah, and probably
Yeah,
having the him to look up because they're not used to doing that
yeah,
as such. Like
yeah,
they're not really. There's no predators as such or anything like that. Like maybe
yep,
dogs and stuff, but
yep,
nothing's going to come down on them like that. So yeah, probably
yeah.
played in your favor a lot. That's awesome.
That's exactly right. Like, I don't know, like I've I've stalked a few bedded bucks on this gully, and
Hmm.
when they're when they're bedded up, they're normally looking downhill, so they're used
Mm.
to naturally looking downhill. So that's sort of the benefit I got out of that, and I just don't think he could have picked me in the tea tree and stuff. So they're yeah,
Also, it's interesting that you didn't get your win, right? Like going down the valley, it just sucks you
mm,
down those valleys every single
yeah,
time. It's like it just
yeah.
worked in your favor, meant to be.
Yeah, it was meant to be. I just, yeah, and then I didn't even walk up to it until about 30 minutes later when I went and picked up Jace from the other side of the property, and we both walked up to it, and he was the first one there, and he picked it up and he goes, "What is going on here?" I hadn't even walked up to it, looked at it, and he's like, "Where?"
That's crazy. What? So you just because you weren't sure of the shot, or just because you're like, I'll come back once Jace is here?
I was totally confident in the shot. I was just like, I want to, I want my mate to be with me, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. Yeah, be able to
yeah,
witness it all. And so tell me
yeah.
about the shot, because obviously taking a steep downhill shot like that, and I mean, you're experienced, so you've got the ability to be able to adjust to know where to shoot. But
Mm.
what was your thought process for that, and how do you take a shot downhill like that?
I always, every time I get a new site or anything, I level my bubbles every time on
Hmm.
the site,
Yeah, so you're
every
doing
single
all three
time.
axes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so when I'm at full draw, all I'm looking at is the bubble and just what I'm aiming for. Don't concentrate on the pin, but the bubble.
Hmm.
And that's why my arrow flew true and exactly where I wanted to go because I'm more focused on the bubble than anything, especially in that steep country. Like I'm used to
Yeah.
hunting it now, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And what about the like? Are you thinking about the exit on that shot to know to shoot like through his
Yeah.
neck up high?
Yeah, so I always aim for where the arrow is going to exit.
Hmm.
So if he's quartering on, you're aiming for that point of the shoulder. You're not aiming like the side he's on.
Yeah.
So the animal is on. I'm always aiming for that offside, like where the arrow is going to come out.
Definitely. And
Mm.
it's something I always like to highlight. Like I obviously know it, but it's something I try to highlight just because it's like I think everyone's thought process is different into like, okay, am I thinking about where it exits? Do I think about where it enters? I think when you
Mm.
first get into bow hunting, like you just even figuring out the anatomy is probably overwhelming for some people, and there's an animal
Yep.
standing right in front of them, right? So I'm like, if we
Yep.
can get as many different possibilities, and hopefully something clicks with someone, and that's when they're like, oh fuck, now I understand. Like that's what I should be going for.
Yep.
So, oh my,
Yep.
like obviously, I think here in Australia we are we've been well educated because of the amount of hunting
Hmm.
that we get to do, and like the shot
Yep.
placements that we do here in Australia seems to be very different to what they do in America,
Yep.
and for good reasons, obviously, because we like to recover our animals.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I think also it's like yeah, the more we can educate, obviously, the better
Hmm.
the end product is for everyone as well.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I think we in Australia get a lot more like chances at
Hell yeah.
discovering where to shoot, like where a boar's heart is or a deer's heart is. Like we have more chances of it, knowing
Can,
where that is. And
can you imagine going into the rut and having one tag for one deer?
no,
Like, how wild would that be?
no, I could not. But yeah, no, I just yeah, especially if you're trying to manage a place, like someone wants something, it's like, well, what do you do?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, how many deer did you take this rut?
Uh
Can't even remember. That many.
this place is a lot of it's a lot of management. Like the owner
Yeah,
wants them,
yeah, they want them gone.
he wants them gone. He's like plants turnips and stuff, and they just eat it down. He's like, I want the deer gone. Like just drop me
Mhm.
off a couple back legs or something like that for the dogs, and you do
Yep.
whatever you want. Like I don't care as long as you drop me off. But yeah. I
I
don't know.
mean,
We took
you
it.
have to play to that too, because at the end of the day, if you want to keep access, and
Yep.
really, as
Yeah.
bow hunters, we do a bit of damage, but we can't do that much to the population.
Oh,
Like in
it.
regards to a roo shooter would go out and shoot 50 in a night, right? Of it,
Yeah.
meaning 50 deer in a night, pretty
Hmm.
easily.
Yeah. That's
Um,
exactly right.
so you do have to pull your weight in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to sort of think about the farmer more than yourself at
Hmm.
some point. Like he wants them gone. You got to do something about it. But we ended up taking a few bucks for this year that like was more for the
That's
for
sake.
the owner.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend that went out and had the exact same situation. The farmer's like, I don't care what you see, like you don't let anything walk this year.
Mm.
Like whatever comes into you, you're
Yeah.
shooting, okay? And he's like, yeah, sure. And they did. They did that the whole way through. And he's like, to be honest, it kind of like reignited the kid side of hunting for me again.
Yes.
Where it's like it
Yes.
doesn't matter about the size in the sense of you don't get
Yep.
caught up in all of the trophy BS as such. Is more just about like, hey, we're going out to hunt, like, and there's nothing wrong with that
Yeah.
as such as well because you're doing the service to the owner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like you go, right, this is for the owner, and then you just go out and you could use your whole quiver of arrows. Like, who
Yeah,
cares? It's and it's just like it's enjoyable for you too, but it's
definitely.
good for the owner and yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, I went out with the longbow just the other day and
Mm.
taking like every opportunity that you get, it makes hunting really freaking exciting again.
Hmm.
Like rather than seeing like, oh, like it's just a small goat or it's just a little doe, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, it's with the longbow, so it's all
Yeah,
starting from scratch again. Let's go.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's what Jason's doing at the moment. He's picked up the recurve again and he's gonna start
I
focusing
saw
on
he
that a
was
bit
selling
more.
his PSE. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So he's gonna focus on the recurve a little bit more and yeah, so I think he just wants the challenge again and
he's done it
just
before, right?
doesn't
Like
matter.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've also done it too, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah, I have. I did it. It wasn't that long ago, but
Yeah.
I just thought to myself, well, I don't really have the time for it at the moment, and it's
I
probably
mean,
not right.
that's definitely one part about it. Like I feel
Yeah,
like you can pick up the wheels after weeks, maybe even months of not
yeah,
shooting if you've got the shooting repeatability down, like in regards to your
yeah.
process, it is very easy just to pick it up and just shoot again. Like I hadn't shot since the rut. I went out and I shot one pig with the wheels the other day and then I put it down. I won't probably shoot it again for ages. Like I'm really
Mm.
focused on trying to get good on the longbow at the moment. But within saying that, the longbow's taking up so much time. Like every day
Yeah,
I'm shooting to try to get better with it.
yeah. That's exactly right. Like every afternoon, I was putting like I didn't matter how tired I was, but I was putting like 100,
Yeah, far out.
shafts through it. Like it
Yeah.
was just full on, and I was like, well, I don't, I don't know if I could do this every day, but
No.
you could pick up the compound just and shoot one arrow, and you go, all right, I'm happy for the day,
Yeah,
and then
I'm
off you
good.
go. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
in Queensland, when you shoot with one arrow, that's like what your shot is like for an animal. Meaning,
hmm.
what I'm saying is like you get one opportunity, and so it's like one hunt for the day. If you shoot that one arrow good, you're like, okay, sweet, like that would be a dead
Yeah,
animal. It's good. We're good to go.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like all of the hunting I've done down in New South, it's been like multiple opportunities every day that
Hmm.
you go out. Like it's always just yeah, honey hole in general.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It depends, like, on your access and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
it's really hard these days, but it could be that one shot that counts too. Like, I've
Oh,
had a lot of
definitely.
a lot of days where it's like you've done a 30K day and you've got a boar, the only boar you've seen all day, like 20 yards from you, you just got to make it count. Like, you're just concentrating,
Yeah,
got to make it count.
still the pressure of it.
Yeah,
Do you think picking up the recurve or was it a recurve or a longbow? What'd you have?
it was a recurve.
Yeah, okay. What'd
Hmm.
you what'd you actually get? Did you buy something good or you just went for whatever or
No, I bought mine off Jack Creek. It was the Black Widow, so it was,
yeah, okay.
it
I feel
was yeah.
I feel like the Black Widows get passed around like little haulers in Australia, right? Like there's
That's
like
exactly right.
6 dudes to
Yeah.
one bow. You're like, what the
Yeah. They
heck?
sell that quick. Like I put it up and like 5 minutes later it was gone.
Yeah, wow, there you go. Okay. So resell is
So
also good.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
But yeah.
And so do you feel like it made you a better hunter at all going out with the recurve?
It made me realize like I have a lot more how confident I was with the compound. Like
Mm,
I you you probably take it for granted a bit too much.
Yeah.
Not, but it's hard. Like for those who do it like constantly every day, that's the only thing they shoot.
Hmm. Hats off to him.
Like hats off to them. I don't. It was very hard. Like there was days where I was like, nah, it's going in the bin. I'm going back to compound. But yeah, it was enjoyable. I did shoot a cracking big boar like for my second ever animal, and that was just arsey as like ass like complete ass like yeah, I don't know, it was crazy, but
What,
yeah,
like
hats
he
off to
just
people
walked
that
onto you or something, or?
yeah, pretty much. I was driving down the road and then there he is walking across the road in front of us, and we were just chopping a load of wood, and I got out of the car and went and shot him, but it was that'll never happen to me ever again, but
Yeah.
it was yeah, that was hats off to everyone that does it like full time.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've only really done two little, like one whole weekend hunting with it, and then like small little mini hunts whilst I've been out hunting with the wheels.
Yeah,
But I definitely noticed over the weekend that I did like full just longbow commitment. It gave me an appreciation for how much extra time you've got that you don't realize you've got with the wheels.
yeah,
Like for me, I feel like this is a compound shooter thing in general. Like it's not just me. I've definitely talked to other hunters that have the same thing, but like you rush that end process. You're like, I've got this
yes,
one shot now is the only time I'm going to get the opportunity. It's like, no, just
yeah,
wait and it will turn
yeah,
around and it will do the same thing. Like if it doesn't know you're there, you've got so many opportunities. And with
yeah,
the longbow, what made me really realize that is like I was at 25 meters and it didn't matter because I wasn't going to shoot until I was at 15 or under.
yeah,
So I'm sitting there watching this thing. I'm like, oh, I'd be so dead if I had my wheels. I'm like, oh, well. And then keep walking closer and closer and
yeah,
stalking in, just taking that extra time that it took. And I'm like,
yeah,
wow, it made me realize like, yeah, you definitely have so much extra time than what you think you've got
yeah.
in those situations.
Yeah, it's like you have more patience. Like if
Definitely.
you say you're on the stalk for I don't know 30 minutes with the compound, you'd be an hour on the recurve and you wouldn't realize how close you could have got to it. Like you're like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm close to this thing. But if you're with the compound, you'd shoot it from I don't know 30
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
You're
Like
all over. Yeah.
yeah, and that's it. Like I don't know, there's a bit to it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably going to buy another recurve because I really want to try it again and just actually focus on it a bit more. So,
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like,
mm,
in the sense of everyone giving it a shot. Um,
yeah,
if not just for even practicing more.
yeah,
Bless me. Yeah, if not for
you're
just
right.
even practicing more in the
Mm,
backyard, but also like it's almost like relearning the whole new skill. Like going out
that's
for
exactly
me,
right.
it was like everything was fresh and it was fun and it was exciting. It was just like I was a little kid again, just shooting with this longbow. It was
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah,
But also just for that whole concept, the reframe of stalking and how much yeah, how much it rejigs you. I feel like that's very powerful for what it does.
yeah, yeah. I do agree with that. Like, it's completely new. Like, I remember when I picked up the recurve, had no idea at all. Went and shot target, probably missed like 30 times or something.
Yeah.
And then I was like inside. I was watching YouTube videos. I was like all over it, like just trying to learn something new. And it was fun. It was really fun. It really
Yeah.
was. But it was hard at first, but then
Yeah.
you
Be
sort of
prepared to
you,
lose some arrows, maybe.
your arrows might go from 50 inches apart to, it started to close down to 10 and then 5, but it's over time. It's very hard to learn.
Definitely. I think once again you have to find a repeatable process, like with the like
Yeah.
what you have to do with the compound. And once you're good at it, you can somewhat step away and come back to it. Like I didn't shoot for 8 days and I
Mhm.
came back and shot and I actually shot better today than I did that whole weekend. I'm like, oh, there you go. But
Yeah, that's
I'm back
exactly
within
right.
my safety range as well of like 8 to 12
Yeah,
meters.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was shooting. I was shooting like I don't know, 100 arrows at 10 yards every
Yeah.
day, and it was like it was that was it's like I was like telling myself every time like that's as close as I'm going to get to it. I'm not going any further. Like
Hmm.
10 yards max, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. My downfall was the fact that like once they're moving and once you got a little bit of dead ground and stuff around you, like it's so confusing. Even thinking like,
Mm,
okay, like I had a fox that it must have been 6 meters or under, maybe seven, and I
mm,
shot straight over top of him,
mm.
like straight over the top of him. Like, God damn
Yeah,
it, like it was so close, but at the same time, so far. So I'm like, oh well, back to the drawing
yeah,
board.
yeah. That's exactly right. I had a few misses on like peaks and stuff, and I'm like, I just I just couldn't comprehend that I was using the recurve. I was like, yeah, it's gonna hit where I'm aiming, like straight away. Like, no, no, it's completely different. It's just, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Tell me about the mountain boars because you've got good access for boars. It seems like, or
Mhm.
oh no, I'd say you definitely do. Just in the sense like you're always putting up boars. How often do you hunt?
I hunt every spare day I've got, like
Yeah, okay.
as much as I can, but it's not. It might look like we shoot a lot of boars. This is like thanks to Jace. He's taught me everything about boars, everything I know about boars. Like just, I would probably wouldn't be where I am now if it
Mhm.
wasn't for Jace. Like I met him only a couple of years ago, and I just probably wouldn't shoot the boars like I do. But he, it's you do see a lot of boars, but you don't see the time, like the dead time, and
Oh,
we
definitely.
work we work so hard for them. Like I said before, we're doing 20 to 30 Ks a day, and we might not even see a boar that
Yeah,
day. Like
yeah.
we're going home empty-handed. We're like, nah, let's go back out again tomorrow.
Hmm.
Try again tomorrow, and we might see that one boar for the day, and that's it.
Mm.
But they're tough. They're tough animals to
They
hunt.
are.
They're
What do you think? Like, I mean, in regards to you're saying everything you've learned has been from Jason hunting with Jace regularly, but like, what have been some of the standout points then for you in regards to like, okay, like yes, you see pigs a lot, and maybe you might hear a rutting boar here or there, but like, what are the big things that you kind of feel like you've taken away?
I think it's a lot about for boars, you got to have a lot of patience. Like you could be like there could be just half an hour of light, first hour light, or half hour, and that's it. Like that's your window for a boar. And
Hmm.
I didn't really know that. Like I wasn't covering much ground or anything, but hunting with Jace, we're just smashing out the first 30, 35 minutes of light and just we're hunting hard for the first, and then we're sitting down the rest of the day,
Yeah.
like wait until the Savo.
So when you're saying you're
It's
hunting hard in that time, covering ground, are you glassing lots just to try find stuff, or you just literally finding
yeah,
like you go into the locations you know they kind of usually are, just trying to hit those grounds?
it's it's a mix of both, but it's mainly just walking, like just straight
Hmm.
up smashing it out, and there's a mob of pigs, nah, nothing in it. Like just
Yeah.
keep going, and you just continually walking and walking, and then it could be just dead for the rest of the day because boars, the big old boars, they're just hard to hunt. Like
Hmm.
they they're smart, they're real smart.
They are.
Like
Yeah.
they're just if you do have like a day of like a sows in heat or something, you will get a lot more chances. Like
Hmm.
that is when your chance to get a good boar is definitely at like the max. Like they could be on them all day.
It's the
Like
thing that slips them up. Yeah.
yeah, that's what mainly we shoot all our boars off is like sows, but
Hmm.
you get the odd one. Like the other day, I put up my most recent post. I put up this boar. We had a massive day. It was probably oh, I don't know. I think we did about 27 Ks just for the like morning and into the arvo. We were doing lots of walking and glassing and looking around, and we um we eventually in the last like 15 minutes light found this boar, but he was just absolutely moving. Like he wanted to go
Mm.
somewhere right or wrong. So this is why it's hard to hunt boars too, because they're always moving.
Yeah.
But
They have a. They always. It seems like they've got reason to be somewhere, right?
yeah, that's exactly right. So we were just like we found this boar yet, but he was just they're hard to keep up with, and you
Hmm.
have to absolutely pelt it out, try and figure out, get the wind right, figure it out, like where is he going? Is he going to bed? Is he going to feed somewhere or something? But best bet is just to absolutely run, cut him off at I don't know, say 100 yards in front of him, and hope and just pray he's
He's
just
coming
comes
towards you.
across your path.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that one on that day, he was on a mission. We found him. We had cows in between us and all that stuff and roos. And I got in. I got up to where I thought he was going, and then I looked back at Jason because we were always communicating. Like we'll sit back and watch. Someone will sit back and watch it, and something. And he ended up making his I ended up in front of him about 50 yards, and
Hmm.
then I lost sight of him. Like that was it. I couldn't see him. I looked back at Jason, he's pointing like this, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I look over, and 20 yards in the creek, like this little thick creek, there he is, just right there, quartering away. And I was like, they're just you just don't predict him. Last time I seen him moving was he was absolutely smashing it out, but this time he was just feeding in the creek, like
Yeah,
just stopped. If I didn't have Jace there, I would have kept running and
missed him
kept
completely.
going and
Yeah.
missed him completely. But they are tough. Like, yeah, I don't know. They're
Yeah,
just
I always
crazy
feel like
things.
so they're always on a mission to get somewhere. B,
Mm.
they know all the hidey holes, like in the sense of their track
Oh,
that they will take. They'll take like the thickest, easy route for them to take. Meaning, like if
yep.
there's thick bush, it's got tunnels all through it because the pigs use it as a highway anyway.
Mhm.
They're using that exact system because they know they're going to have the most cover while they're doing it. And then if they're out in the opens at all, it seems like, especially on that last light or early, first light or last light, they're essentially only on it until the sun's kind of enough
Yeah,
for you to be able to be visible, and then they're out of there, right? They
yeah.
don't like it at all.
That's exactly right. But a lot of the times in winter, why you shoot so many boars is because it's colder of a night and
Mm.
they're up first thing in the morning, sort of
To
getting that
warm
first bit of
themselves up.
sun, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they're gone. Like they're just going back to bed because it's too hot or something. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So,
Yeah. I often have bumped them on the hillside. Like you're stalking through the
mm,
sides. This is like, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and they've already bedded up, and you don't know where they are, and they'll hear something, and they're just out of there. Like you don't even get
yeah,
close to them, and they're still like, "Nope, see ya, I'm gone."
yeah, yeah. They just they don't muck around if
You just
they
see a
think.
lump running up the hill. Yeah.
Yeah, they just even if they just sense something's off, they're gone. Like
Hmm.
you won't see him. Like maybe it's a ruse bounced 200 yards past him, like way up here or something on the hill. He'll go, "Oh, I don't like that," and
Mm.
then he'd slowly make his way off and just sneak off into like little thicket or something, and he's gone forever. Like you won't see him again.
Even when there's like other pigs around, right? Unless it's a sow and heat, what I've found is like if there's a boar in a mob and the roos jump off behind them, the
Mm.
boar will be like, "Yeah, I'm gone," and then the
Yeah,
mob stays there and just keeps feeding. You're like, "Damn it, there goes the opportunity."
yeah, yeah. It's just that age, Like they
Mm.
sort of know what's going on. They've been around hunters before or whatever in your area. They just go, "Oh, I didn't like that," and then they'll just slowly poke away from the mob, or they'll just maybe go into a little bit of thick grass or something, and they're just gone. Like they just
Yeah.
vanish. They're just ghosts. It's crazy.
So have you only ever hunted them kind of in that in your region, like the Hunter Valley area sort of stuff eventually? Or essentially,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that's about it. I haven't hunted them really anywhere else at all. No
Yeah.
Queensland trips or anything. So
And
Northern Territory.
have you ever measured them? Much for that or not really?
Not really, not particularly. I don't really
Yeah, for it as
bother on
such.
it too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Just know it's a good ball.
yeah, it's just a good boar. It's got fucking big tusk hanging out of it. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean the bodies there, they seem like they're pretty big pigs in general.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah,
What
they are pretty
sorry, go on.
big, but the way a lot of the times you tell if a boar is mature is by its tail.
Mm.
So how long its tail is, you might not see the hooks and you'd look at his tail and go, yep, that's a good boar. Like
And you're
it
looking
could
for a
be
long straight tail rather than a
yeah. So long
wiggly
like
tail.
just a long sort of sweep or something. Like the longer the better, really.
Hmm.
That's just about it. Like you could have a boar dragging his tail along the ground and go, "Holy shit, that's a fucking big boar." But
Yeah.
you can also tell off the body. But some areas you'll have more tusk than weight on them. So the
Definitely when
younger
they're on
they
that
are,
opposite side, like of
yeah,
the health curve or whatever, like
yeah,
they grow up, they have a big body and big tusks, and then they start to get bigger tusks and smaller body.
yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So
I think the
there's a
one
lot
that
of
I shot at
way.
Liam's place was like 40 kilos. Like he was so small, but his tusks were
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, that's exactly right. Like it can also depend on genetics and stuff. Maybe that's just their weight. Like 40 kilos is their weight, and their hooks are just big because that's their genetics. But
Mm.
you also get those just absolute tanks that are like 100 kilos big tusks.
Yeah,
So
definitely. So did you get into hunting
yeah.
later in life then?
Nah, I got into it pretty young. I was probably about seven or something. I had my mate across the road, Rubes Baker Benny.
Yeah.
I lived with him for years, and he was into it, and that's really it.
Got you into
I
it, yeah.
started shooting. I had this little shitty recurve thing, and I thought I was the best at everything.
Robin Hood.
But yeah, that's exactly right. So I just was like, oh, I gave it a crack, and then from there on, it just grew. It didn't come out of my family or nothing. It was just, yeah, just rubes, just me
And
mate. So
and did you always keep to it, or did you step away from it and come back to it?
I actually moved away for 2 years in when I was younger to the Sunshine Coast,
Hmm.
and that's when I sort of just, oh, I'll just go to fishing or something like that. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. And then when I got back, it was bow hunting, bow hunting, bow hunting. Like I just
Yeah,
couldn't get
amazing.
enough of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
And so tell me how you got your dad into it then.
So I was actually doing a bit of hunting with Dad's mate, Rob. He was into it. He's just got out of fishing, like he was only a year into it, and he's like, "Oh, let's go hunting." I was like, "Yeah, righto," and he loved it. Like
Mm.
he's like, "I'm selling me boat," and then I was like, "Yeah, righto." And anyways, and then I tried to convince my dad for years and years to pick up a bow, but he shot a lot of rifles when he was younger, and he's like, "Oh, I don't really like." Rifles was a bit shit. So
Yeah, yeah.
he's like he didn't want like that same thing. But then he started shooting and he shot his first pig and he's like, fuck, this is different. Like my
Mm.
adrenaline's pumping like every time I stalk in on an animal and stuff. So that's how I ended up getting him on it. Well, his mate got him in on it because I couldn't convince him. But yeah,
Yeah.
he likes it. He likes it too. So yeah, it's really good.
Do you go out hunting with him much or not really?
Yeah, fair bit. Like when we have the sort of time, we'll head out and go for a quick poke around. He's not real Instagram active or anything, so he's just shoots something and goes take a photo and that's it.
Yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, he gets into it and yeah, he likes it. So that's
I think it's
all.
cool. I think it's kind of cool to have that role reversal of you getting
Yeah.
to introduce him to a passion. And I think that's a
Hmm.
cool concept. Like I think a lot of dads do a great job of bringing their kids into
Mm.
things that they're excited about. And not forcing it on them as well. Like when I was young, we used to do heaps of line fishing. I was always, I mean, honestly, dad was pretty shit at it too, but we were always pretty bad at it, but it was good fun.
Yeah.
It's like some of my
Yeah.
fondest memories of when we were young were with the line. And then when we went out to the farm, it was shooting rabbits with a 22. Like that was the
Yeah.
most fun you could have.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, yeah, I'm sort of glad Dad got into it because, I didn't think I ever would, like ever, but it's
Hmm.
not many people get there. Like it's normally father to son sort of
Hmm.
goes into bow hunting, but yeah, it's completely this time around. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's yeah, nice to have something outside of because you work with him too, right?
Yeah, that's
So it's
right.
nice to
Yeah.
have something outside of that that's not just yeah yelling at each other for doing the flooring wrong or something.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's tough days, but go for a hunt. That's all
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Work it out in the field.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And
Mm.
so has most of your hunting then just been in that region in general, or have you hunted elsewhere in Australia as well?
That's just about it, sort of my area, and that's really all there's been.
I
That's
mean,
what I've
really,
grown up as. So
when you've got a like when you live in a good area, what's the point to move, right?
yeah,
What's the point to
yeah,
go exploring when you've got
yeah,
everything there? So
yeah.
what species have you kind of got like access to right now?
Access to right now is it's fallow, pigs, goats, all the usual. I do have a bit of sandbar access, a bit further down south that I haven't touched. I need
Yeah,
to go look at.
yeah.
Um, that's about it, really. It's not much really to it. A couple of reds every now and again, but they're very few and far between, like hard to
Like they
hunt.
just
So
pass on your block sort of thing. They
yeah,
just
they're
pass
just
through.
cruising through. Like
Yeah.
you won't see them. Like very, very rarely see them. But you might hear the odd moan or something like that. But it's yeah, they're very hard to find.
Yeah, interesting. Do you
Mhm.
do much fox whistling at all?
I do a fair bit. I do like it a lot. So um, yeah, I head out a fair bit. Like if we find a good gully or something, we'll pull up, have a whistle. Fox
Yeah.
comes in. Fox doesn't matter. But I love shooting foxes. I've shot a lot,
Yeah.
and it's I really enjoy it. I really do. But
I think it's so cool because it's kind of the like it's almost like hunting fallow in the rut, but year round because the fox
yeah,
runs into you like a fallow buck would if you rattled him or if you
yeah,
hind called him in or something. I just I like that aspect to it. It's like fast moving. It's yeah, adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I just when they're smashing in, they don't even want to stop, and you're trying to pull for your shot as he's coming in, and you're like, Jesus, he's going to go off. Am I going to miss him completely? Is my ping going to be on him? But yeah, I like it. It, it's similar into the fallow, but different. I don't know. It's very good. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. I like.
Mm.
I mean, obviously, very, very different to fallow, but at the same time,
Mm.
that's kind of the way that I can relate it, I guess.
Yeah,
But
no, I totally understand where you're coming from. It's yeah, fallow, and
I feel
yeah, I
like
don't know.
so. Me and my friend Adam went down to Barraba and we went
Mm.
hunting, and there just wasn't much happening at all. So we just spent the whole pretty much like I think we spent like 6 hours just fox whistling and going up and down this hillside, and then we met up with Jace that night, and we
Mm.
were just on such a high from fox
Yeah.
whistling, and he's like, "Man, I really don't do it much anymore." And then he sent us a message the next week. He's like, "Yeah, I started getting back into my fox whistling again." I'm like, "Good," like we reignited it for
Yeah. Yeah, he takes a bit of motivating sometimes, but yeah, he I think everyone likes fox whistling, really. I think no matter who you ask, you like they all enjoy it. Like who doesn't love like watching a fox smash it in from a K
run
out or something
across. Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
So what
So
whistles do you use then?
uh I normally just use my mouth really or
Just the
the
kisser type thing.
silver.
Yeah,
Yeah, or the silver fox whistle. It's pretty good.
yeah.
Tone's a bit off, but it's not too bad.
I went out with James Doomstis a few weeks ago, and he had this
Mm.
thing, the button. I'd never seen him before, but it's just like this circle, and you just like whistle through it, sort
Yeah.
of thing. Like you put it in your mouth and suck in or push out. I don't know what he was doing, but it worked. It worked pretty well.
Yeah,
Um,
they are buttons. They are old with them fellas.
yeah, he's like, "What? You've never heard of a button?" I'm like, "No." I'm like 6 years into this,
Yeah,
dude.
that's a bit of a shock, eh?
Yeah, exactly. But at the
I
same
used to
time, I
use,
also haven't hunted heaps of foxes, so
yeah, that's right. But I used to use them all the time for, I probably used them for probably 10 years, the
yeah.
buttons, and they always work. Like,
It's just like a whistle, right? Essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're awesome, them things. I'd use one right now.
Yeah. I got you hooked
So,
again. No.
yeah.
And so,
Mm.
what is like if you break down your year in regards to how you kind of target things? I mean, is there a rhyme or reason, or is it like, hey, let's just go out and see what we can find? Essentially, like obviously during the rut, you're going to mainly focus on bucks to an extent.
Mm.
But then the rest of the year, like now in May and June, are you still focusing on trying to get on the bucks while they're a bit quieter and just mellowing out, or not really?
I find the Bucks a bit later. They're just a bit sort of. The problem is with May is what this is what Jason told me is what is like your best time for your rut and boars.
Mm,
So that's what I'm sort of focused on through May, and then it continues over to winter because the boars like you don't find them in the summer that often at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
So you're like, I got to make the most of it, sort of thing. But
yeah.
I will do a few hunts after the rut for deer and just check things out. What's going on? What are they doing? Are they completely finished up? Is there a second cycle? Like
Hmm.
what's going on? But in particular, it's mainly the boars through May, through winter, and then you start chasing your goats and stuff into that summer months, off water or whatever they're doing. But
Mm.
uh, January, end of January, sort of April is just all deer. Like I do nothing but deer. I'm looking for a good velvet or just glass and like seeing what's around. But
Yeah.
obviously, all your velvets move off your property, and then
Hmm.
other bucks come in
Yeah, so it's kind
through
of like a
April.
two gene pool that you're looking at, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly right. So that's probably how I plan out my year most of the time, unless
Hmm.
something unexpected happens. Like, yeah, that's mainly it. But
I was thinking about the other day, like in regards to I was standing on some scrapes, and it's very interesting the fact that just one day they essentially switch off and they're like, I don't need to check that anymore. Like that their
yep,
testosterone just switches enough for them to be like, it doesn't matter. Like
yeah, yeah, they
Barry can
just
walk over it all they like. I don't care now.
yeah, it's very weird. Like you could have like one of the most active days ever, and
Mm,
then the next day there's just
just
dead
switches off.
silence, just nothing. It does amaze me sometimes, but they're
Definitely.
fallow. They're a bit different.
They're just erratic, right? Like
Yeah,
erratic and
yeah,
sporadic with what they
yeah,
do. Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah. I love hunting fallow, really, but
Hmm.
they're tricky, but. I do love it.
Yeah. Have you found that as you, and I mean, this is kind of obvious in the sense of same thing with the boars, but as you try to target the bigger, older bucks, like it definitely becomes a bit of a different game, right?
Oh yeah, it's exactly like the Boars, just with fallow. It's just, but I do find the fallow do are a lot more elusive. Like,
Mm,
yeah, they come back to their scrapes and stuff, but they disappear so quickly. Like, you're sitting off a big buck and he's got 20 females or something. You're just glassing him, watching him do his thing. He'll service all them 20 does in that 20 minutes. Like, he'll go through, finish and go off, and then he's gone forever. Like,
yeah, got
they're
you. Once he knows that they're all done.
yeah, they just move on. They just want to keep going, and
Yeah,
you that's how you lose your big bucks. But
numbers game.
that
Uh, like, are you finding that all the does are going into estrus in the same time on your blocks then?
no, absolutely not. They're
Yeah, okay.
all over the place. Like I could be like early April, end of March. They're croaking.
Hmm.
They've got females. They're running around. They're just going crazy. End of April, you might have a day or two where they're just going crazy again, just
Yeah.
because
Something
yeah,
sparks back up again. They've gone back in
yeah.
cycle or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just so many numbers there that they can't get to them all. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Have you ever heard croaking in May?
Yeah, I've heard a few. I have
Mm.
heard a few. I've heard like early sort of early mid-March. You'll hear them every now and then. Like you'll
Yeah.
hear one just let it out, and you go, what was that? Didn't sound like croak. It sounded like something else. But yeah,
Koala.
they do. Yeah, they do a lot of silly stuff on the place. But I think it's just the numbers there, they're just too out of hand, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. No, it is interesting. I like, I haven't hunted fallow a heap, and I'm getting more
Mm.
opportunities now. And I've had over the last 2 years, like more opportunities than I have my whole hunting life, which is not that long. But they are just definitely a very interesting creature, like at every stage um of their cycle, like not even just during the rut, but meaning even outside of it, just what they do and watching
Mm.
them, and definitely watching the older boys when it's out of the rut. Like for instance, hunting them in winter, just how, and the does are definitely always like the most aware, but even just how aware and how alert and how scarce they'll
Yeah.
become as soon as they see anything wrong, they're like, nope, we're out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, you could be watching them through the binos from 500 meters away, and they'll be feeding, and then they'll put their head up, and they'll
Yeah.
just look around like it's like, what is this thing doing? But it's just what they do. They're
They're
just so
just
switched
so
on.
aware. Yeah.
Like,
I filmed it the other day of a doe, and her fawn came up and was feeding from her. And
mm,
even when it was feeding, and she just pinned me, she just looked straight at me.
yep,
But then I wasn't moving. So she's just looking. And then she's like, no, it's nothing. And then looked away. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, like she definitely knew that there was something up and that wasn't right. But at the same time, she's like, nah, it hasn't moved on. I'm good. And then went back to feeding. She was back to normal. But they are very alert.
yeah. That's exactly right. It's like they know every bush on the place. Like they
Yeah.
just haven't seen that before. What's that? And then they're just checking you out, and they might feed, but also be looking at you, and then they're like, you can't move at all, and then they'll put their head up and look at you again, and they'll look back and they'll go, I don't know, and then they'll slowly start to move off from you. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
what do you do?
It won't stick around at all for you.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
so I had an anonymous person reach out and say that we need to hear the story about the barbed wire roll.
Oh, the anonymous person, eh?
What
He actually
happened?
just, I think he actually messaged me. Uh, yeah, well, no one knows this story but two people, so.
Oh, that's all I've heard.
So I was walking around with Dad one day, and I was checking out this pig apparently in the paddock, and I was like, "Nah, that's a pig." And Dad's like, "No, that's not a pig. I don't know what it is, but it's not a pig." And I was like, "Nah, it's a pig." And it was like last like 5 minutes of light, and I was
Yeah.
like, stuff it. I'll just go in that shot. And I came back, and I walked in. Dad's trying to convince me it's not a pig, and I was like, "Nah, it's a pig. Let me shoot it." And and then so I got in on it, and I was like 20 yards, drew back, shot, like nothing, and just sparks went flying everywhere. And
Uh,
then I got called an idiot and all this stuff, and yeah. And then Jace was telling me what was I even aiming at, and I was like, couldn't tell you. But yeah, that's the barbed wire incident.
The opportunity arose and you took it.
Yeah, it
It
wasn't
is
missing
it
out.
is crazy how much, like, especially in that low light, how much
Mm,
anything that's round looks like a deer or a pig, or yeah, like you
yeah, I
see.
know.
And what's bizarre is when you're looking and then you're looking that hard that you see it move and you're like, nah, it moved. It's definitely something.
Yeah,
There's like
yeah,
the
yeah,
grass around it, right? And you're like,
yeah.
nah, I saw an ear flick. Like, I'm going
That's
in.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh yeah, he's nosing out on some thing, but it was just the wind pushing the grass over.
Yeah. Dude, that's
Right,
hilarious.
it was a bit stupid, but
At least you didn't let it walk away, so that's good.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Uh,
Uh,
how about like close encounters or weird, like, I guess kind of other situations that have not gone necessarily to plan? Like, is there any close encounters that you've had where pigs have run at you after you shot them or anything like that?
yeah, I've had a few pigs run at me, but I've actually had a lot more deer sort of run towards me after I shoot them more than pigs.
Hmm.
So if I rattle in a buck or something and he's coming at me, you shoot him, he'll run like just past your shoulder or something. He's got his head down, sort of running like this. It's like
Yeah.
they're not running at you, but they're
No,
running
they're
from
just
your
running to get
shot.
away. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, that's pretty scary. But a lot of pigs, I remember this one day me and my dad, we were hunting this place and we bumped a pig just out of its bed, like 100 meters up the hill, and he just full sprinted at us, and Dad's had to jump out of the way because he's just run straight past him. And you have the odd one that'll get grumpy when you shoot it, and he'll sort of look around for something. You just have to stand real still, like
Yeah.
you just can't move. And yeah, but I haven't had too many run at me like pigs and stuff, but not too many deer or anything. But it hasn't been too bad, really. I've just been lucky and
Luck
sort
with
of.
it, yeah. I remember
Mm,
once I shot this pig. It was in the creek and it ran up the creek and straight at me. And so I've
yeah,
moved and it's like it got a second wind and it just went and there was just blood spray everywhere.
yeah.
And then it went to like no blood spray. And I followed this thing up for so long. And then all of a sudden, it was actually like it came up and crossed over the fence line. So as I went over the fence line, it was into this flat paddock that was just real tall grass. And you see the blood spray. And then as I was like walking through that, I heard something take off right down the hill. I'm like, surely that couldn't have been him. But when I thought about it, and it was actually, I talked to Lonnie Brockman about it afterwards, and he's like, no, they definitely would run back down towards the water when they're injured
Mm,
like that.
hmm
I'm like, oh, well, he's probably dead in the creek somewhere. I just never saw him, never found him. But
mm.
he was like a dead man running. He just had that adrenaline to keep him going. But
Yeah,
also the fact that like what's it called where it the blood, the coagulation, it had obviously built up and stopped him from bleeding then when he got to a certain point.
I've had a lot of them. So you could follow a blood trail that, like, you could smoke it. There's a lot of boars you can shoot, and they will just you'll smoke them. You'll take out both lungs, or
Like
just
this
clip the top of the
spray,
heart.
right? You're like, yep,
Y-
dead.
Yeah, and you're just watching him run off, and there's just blood just coming out his shoulder or something. You're like, oh yeah, he's dead. You follow it for 50 yards, and then it's 100 yards, and then it's 150 yards, and then it just stops, and you're like,
Mm,
how has this happened? But pigs are so much stronger than you think. Like,
mm,
it's like a big old billy goat. Like, they're tough as nails. Like, you could have a boar that's just exactly like that. Like,
yeah.
and it just blood stops and they live. Like, that's it. But yeah, it
It,
sort of amazed me, some of the animals.
have you ever seen boars fighting in the wild?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they thrash each other, man. They go
Oh,
hard.
they just absolutely wreck each other, and it's like, what is my puny little arrow going to go to do to this thing?
Exactly.
Like, they just wreck each other. But that's exactly right. They're so used to fighting and carrying on, and
Yeah.
little arrow through the lungs or something. Oh yeah, I'll just walk that off.
It seems
But
like it.
nah, it's a lot of the times you do get them, but you'll have that old boy that you're just amazed by, and you just
And
don't know
that's
what
the thing.
happened.
They probably do die. It just takes them a lot longer to get
Yeah,
down, right? Like if
yeah,
you've
that's
taken out
exactly
an
right.
artery or something, it's just going to be a matter of time. But like
Yeah,
once that coagulation happens, they're almost impossible to track. They just
yeah,
go.
yeah, that's exactly right. So they just, I couldn't compare anything to, like, I do billies. Like, they're just so tough. Big old billies. If you shoot a big old billy, they're just very tough. You have to make it like account 100%, like your shot
Mm,
is perfect
yeah.
because they just keep going and going and going otherwise, and they amaze me.
That you got a big Billy on your page actually. Is he brown Billy? I remember seeing it. I was scrolling through your page the other day.
It was the
Uh,
white one.
the white one, maybe. Oh yeah, the white one's nice and yeah, he's got some length to him.
Yeah, I think it was that. Uh, oh geez, it's a long time. 11th of September.
Yeah, probably. Where was
It
he
was
shot?
that one.
Like, no, it was this one here was the one I was thinking of, the black and white one.
Oh, yep. No, I smoked that fella. So he was old. He wasn't absolute like he wasn't massive, but he was really, really old.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I had to like 'cause those older fellas just take it like a champ. I just put it straight on his heart, and shot was perfect and everything. And he only ran 10 yards and fell. But if
Yeah,
you're an
okay.
inch back, inch back from that heart, and you just clip the bottom of the lungs or something, like he'll just
Go.
run, man.
Yeah.
They'll just run and run and run. But I have had the odd billy that's like needed a second arrow or something just because you shoot them and they're just yeah they're crazy them things. But
That I mean,
mm.
most goats are pretty darn hardy in general, right? What
Yeah,
they'll go through.
yeah.
Would like what is your biggest billy? Do you know roughly? Would he be it
Uh,
or
no, I think the white fella was my biggest. I think it was
yeah? Okay.
38, 37 inches or something.
Yeah, got you.
I still want the 40, but
Yeah, of course.
can't be too greedy.
Isn't it funny how it's just like you get that number stuck in your head? You're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, got to get
But
it.
I have seen a few that have gone over 40 on that block, and they're just next level smart. Like they're
Yeah.
very, very smart.
What
Very
have you
smart.
kind of noticed about the billies? Like, it almost seems like they won't actually hang out with the mob too much until there is a rutting nanny or yeah, nanny and heat.
Yeah. If you have a massive big mob of like, I don't know, 100 goats or something,
Hmm.
you you'll find he'll stick in with the nannies and like sort of in the middle of the
Right in the middle of
group or
everyone. Yeah.
just hang out sort of where like he's the last thing you can get to.
Yeah.
But they will slip up on and like if you have a nanny in heat, they're just crazy. They go
Definitely, they go for it.
nuts.
Yeah. But all
And
80 of
that's
the billies do. Like
yeah, that's
everyone's
exactly
on them.
right.
Yeah.
And when they're running around and stuff, they're like you're trying to it's very hard to get. It's harder than to get in front of a rut and billy than it is to get in front of a boar walking somewhere. But
Yeah.
they're pretty hard. But once they, if a nanny pulls up in a log or something, you might be right. But
Yeah.
the older billies, I find you'll only see them in sort of summer when they have to come to water
Mm,
because in the winter months they sort of stay hidden away in the thick stuff, thick steep shit or something. Most of my decent goats have been off in summer when they're out and about looking for water, getting a bit more green peek into them, and they might be with a mob of 20, 30, 40 goats or something, but it's hard to find those bigger billies in the winter months, I find.
yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm.
I definitely had it the other day, like the biggest goat that I could see in this mob, and he just would not come near me at all.
Mm.
It wasn't even that he knew I was there. It was the fact that a nanny had seen me and he saw her, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not going over that way," and just
Mm.
stayed as far on the other side as he could as possible. A big old
Yeah,
shaggy fella. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I'll catch up with you one day.
yeah. I think one of my goats are one of my favorites to shoot just because that's what I sort of started on. I didn't start on like I didn't really have a place for rabbits or something like that. It
Hmm.
was sort of just straight up goat in front of me, like that's what I'm going to shoot. I've always had a special place in my heart for goats. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people have too.
yeah,
But if I see a big old billy, I'd take it over a half decent mountain boar every day of the week.
yeah. Wow.
I like shooting goats.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoy shooting goats. I really love taking newbies out to go goat hunting
Yeah.
because it's like they're also like younger goats are very forgiving.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll give you a lot of opportunities.
They will, but then also some of the nannies and stuff, and they're pretty fucking smart. So
Their
it's
their vision
crazy.
their vision is really good, right? Like they'll
Yeah,
ping you from ages away. You're like, what the heck? I didn't even move. Like
yeah.
you did,
Sometimes it's
obviously, but yeah.
easier. It's sometimes it's easier to stalk a buck than it is, you know, a old nanny or something. It's just crazy. Like they're
Yeah.
just nuts, crazy things.
But also, it's a very interesting what you can get away with if you have a good backdrop on you. Like I had a
Hmm.
tree behind me the other day, had this massive mob of goats come up, and every nanny in that mob would look at me and be like, huh, nah, and then just
Yeah,
keep eating. But then they all just
yeah.
went straight to me. I had goats like 3, 4 meters from me. It was so cool having all these things around me, but there was the billy at the back that I wanted to get. I'm like, all right, I'll wait for it. And it just never came to the opportunity. Eventually, one got too close and got winded, and then they kind of all spooked and they stood over the other side for a bit, and then they just went back to feeding again, but then fed off the edge. So,
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's probably the best way to sort of stalk your goats is get in front of them because when they're feeding, they're just on the move. They're always looking for a new bit of grass and they're always
mhm.
feeding. Like that's the best way to is to get in front of them, really.
Do you find that the goats you hunt, they almost like a boar in the sense of they know where they want to go. Like they've got food,
Hmm.
they've got their favorite food areas all over the hill, and at different
Yeah,
times of the day, they're like, "All right, we're going to the berry bush" or something. Like it's just like they know.
yeah,
It's like, "All right, smoko time. Let's eat this grass instead."
yeah. That's exactly right. Well, if you sit and watch a mob of goats long enough, you'll and you hunt them over a consecutive amount of days, you'll notice that they sort of come in this like say you got a thick steep gully and then like maybe a nice little flat spot and stuff. They'll go in and out of that hill at first thing in the morning. They'll go up, have a feed, and then last thing at night they'll come back down the exact same way they come. So
Mm,
they're pretty switched on to know where they're going and like what they want and if they want water they'll go here and then go back the exact same way. Like they're pretty patternable, but yeah, I just, yeah, it's pretty crazy how smart they are, is really.
I feel like
Mhm.
most animals, like if you had a week to hunt a new block, for instance, and you knew there was lots of animals there, if you could spend a whole day just watching, you could pretty much
Mhm.
pick up like, okay, at this time of day, these animals are here, these animals are here, they're doing this. Then at this time they're doing
Yeah.
this, this, and this. And I feel like you could go back the next day, and if the winds were good, you could set yourself up for so many opportunities just doing it that way, rather than what I always do, which is get there and like animals go like straight to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. It's there. If you glassed for say, I don't know, 3 days, you will pattern some animals, but it depends, like maybe the farmer's driving through there at a certain time of day or something,
True.
they will
Just
probably end
put
up
a spanner in the
changing it
works.
up.
Yeah.
But it's like when you even if you walk through there, they could smell you, like you smell you walk through there, and
Hmm.
that's it. Like they're gone, like, and they'll go somewhere else for a couple of days, and then they might come back slowly. But yeah, you can pattern them pretty easy, animals, if you sit back and watch them long enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, do you still do much fishing at all?
I try to, yeah, I do a fair bit, mainly cod fishing and stuff, but I like going away and fishing up in Queensland too. So,
When's the cod season again?
mm, I have no idea.
You just know when it's on.
Been I just know what it's on because everyone's fishing.
Yeah.
There's a
Fair
lot of
enough.
pressure around. There's a lot of pressure on the rivers down our way. So
What meaning like once it's cod season, everyone's just out and about?
yeah, yeah, it's pretty hard fishing, but if you have the right spots, it's yeah, pretty good.
Do you feel like, and I don't know if this is a silly question to ask, but you've caught a fair few meteries. Do you feel like
Hmm.
a fish like that will stay in kind of the same location for a lot of its older life, or do they are they moving a fair bit as well? Obviously, it's hard to say
It
because you're not necessarily having eyes underwater.
it depends what it depends what like river you're fishing. It might sound stupid, but in one river it could be real deep and massive, big, long holes, and then
Hmm.
maybe a shallow bit of rapids on either end. They'll stay in there
Stay there
for
forever until it floods, right?
who knows? Yeah, and two, like who knows how long. If you have a small little creek or something and it's real shallow, they're always moving up, trying to get the bait in their face, like as it's coming down the rapids or something. So they're always going up, 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 and then. But they're really hard to figure out cod. Cod are really like, yeah, you could catch the same fish a few times and stuff, but they're pretty hard to figure out the old cod. But
Seems like you and
yeah.
Jace go for like the biggest lures you could possibly find.
We yeah, bigger the it sort of filters out them smaller fishes or
Yeah,
but I've caught big fish on like a
smaller.
4 inch like I caught a meter 20 barra or something, meter 10 barra on a little tiny walker dog about this big. Like
Yeah.
so it all depends what mood they're in sort of thing. But if you want those bigger fish, yeah, you're gonna throw that bigger stuff and all that.
What is the biggest cod you've caught?
It's a 112. Nah, not that one. I don't think there's actually a photo of it on there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not too sure. I'll just have a quick look. Oh no, yeah, this one. No, this one. Oh no, no, not that one. I don't know. I've caught so many cods. I don't know if there's a picture on it.
That's good.
Uh, I don't think the picture's on there, but it's Photoshop background, so no one could find out where it was.
Somewhere in Australia where you go hunting and fishing, yeah. What
Yeah, that's exactly right.
what do you reckon was the hardest thing for you to learn when you got into hunting?
Um, I think I had a lot of trouble with target panic. I
Okay.
think everyone else does. I think that was my hardest bit. Like, yeah, I could hold the pin there and stuff, but every time I'm just smacking that trigger like this, I'm just doing it over and over. And that was for years. I had no idea. Like, I was just pretty useless at it until about, I don't know, 5 years ago, I started shooting a lot better because I had Rob, I used the first ever thumb release he gave me. He's like, try this, you're punching your trigger way too much. And he's only new to it and he just, he knew so much more about it than I
Yeah,
did. He
just done
must
the
have just
research
watched,
on that or something, or yeah, watch a
yeah,
video.
it was just great. He's like, try this. And yeah, still, I still wanted to get my thumb around it and just smack it. But he made me go to like 5 yards and shoot 50, 60 arrows at just 5 yards. Don't
Hmm.
worry about the pin, just pull, pull, pull. And I just kept doing that over for days and days and weeks and weeks. And that's eventually what got me out of it. But I will have the odd time where it does come back and I go, righto, pull your head in. Like I can normally get rid of it through my mind now. Like
Mm.
I can just say
Just focusing again.
if I'm on a boar or something, I'm just like, okay, it's got to go quick, quick. You just go, no, slow down, slow down. He's not going anywhere, and you sort of just break the shot off. And I've gotten a lot better with it over the years now.
So have you reverted to using your thumb trigger only now? That's what you use for your
Yeah,
release?
I'm thumb only now. I can't shoot a index or anything because I'm not comfortable with them or anything. I'm just
Just
full
revert back to that punching.
Yeah, I'm just full thumb from now on because I'm a really good shot with them.
And with your thumb release, do you do the pulling of the finger to make it push into your thumb, or are you pulling the
Mhm.
whole release back?
Nah, so I when I come to full draw, I'm pulling my elbow back
And that in turn
towards.
twists it
So I'm
into your thumb.
thinking, right, there's a tree behind me. Push your elbow back to it, and then that's
Mhm.
how I got it. I haven't red hot, but like I'll put my finger on it and just hold it there, and then just like start to pull a little bit, and then it'll eventually go off. But
Red hot meaning like it's an easy pull trigger, like don't have to
yeah,
touch it
so you
much.
could it's like a hair trigger. You can
Yep.
just just sort of, but it's enough that I can comfortably set my thumb on it and
Yep.
then just get my anchor and then just pull through my shot. And I'm sort of pushing my bow arm forward too as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
And have you played around with different releases in the sense of thumb triggers before you found one that you liked?
I've shot a lot. I'm really comfortable with the UV, but I've just got the Stan clicker.
Oh,
It's the
it
thumb.
clicks first and then you get a shot.
Yeah, yeah, I love that thing. It's so good. I recommend it to anyone. Like, if you have real bad target penny, try it out. I
Yeah.
can imagine the index is just the same because they just brought in a new one that's a clicker as well in the index finger. So you
Hmm.
come back, you just squeeze until you hear that click, and then that's when you start to pull.
Yeah.
But the clicker is just the thumb clicker. I just absolutely love. Like, yeah, I don't, I shoot the UV and stuff, but. the stand when I don't know, I can concentrate so much more on my shot than I just come back to you, click comfortably, and then you pull through your shot. I just find it way, way better.
So you are actually engaging with your thumb to get
Yep.
that click, and then you pull.
hmm
Yeah, okay. Because I had a hinge release that had a click on it, and it would freak
hmm
me out every time I'd hear it because I'd be pulling, and go kick, and I go, oh Jesus, and pull my
Yep.
bow and be all over the place and have to recenter, refocus, and do the whole thing. It was like it was off-putting. And it actually had one of the half moons that you could change around. So then I changed it to
hmm
just be smooth, and I didn't have that issue. And so
hmm
I've been afraid to go back to anything that clicks just for that reason.
Yeah, so I am the exact same as you, except with this thumb, because with the back tension, you don't know when it's sort of going to click, and you're like, oh, I don't know. And then you hear it, and you're like, oh shit, is it going to go?
Mm.
But with the thumb, because you're physically pushing it
To
with your
get to that
finger,
position. Yeah, it makes sense.
you want it to get to the click, and then that's when you pull. I'm so much calmer with it. I hate like the back tension,
It's
like
almost like
clicks.
a great way to have you focusing on something outside of what you're about to go and do, right? Like
hmm
if you've got a big old boar in front of you, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, just get my click right. And then once I get my
Yep.
click, then it's like that laser focus. Okay, it's already
Yep.
getting you into that tunnel vision, ready to go.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. Like all you're thinking about is sort of, yeah, there's the boar in front of me, my pin's right, it's settled, but you're just concentrating on that thumb a little bit more, and then you get to it and you're like, okay, just pull, and then you just pull and your shot goes where it goes. Like, yeah, it's an awesome release. I really like it. Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. And cool to kind of see the process of having that target panic to go through to now being so confident with it as well.
hmm Yeah,
Like, I mean, hence why there's so many different products on the market too, right? For
yeah, that's
different
exactly
people trying
right.
to figure out their different variations of everything as well.
That's exactly right. But a lot of people are confident with the index and stuff, but I just found as soon as I started shooting that button, it was thumb button. It was way better for me, like
Mm.
way better for me. But just the stand is just next level.
Yeah, I actually I tend to just use my trigger only, and then if I ever find, I mean, I haven't done it for ages to be honest. If I ever find that I am just punching the trigger, I'll
hmm
go back and use I've got a Stand Perfects, which is a back tension release, just to get used to like
Yeah,
pulling back through the shot again. But what I've
yeah,
found is actually I've just trained it out myself just from going through and shooting the bow correctly for so long. With
hmm
essentially my shot process is lock your finger over it and just pull instead. So
yeah,
it's like you're pulling with the elbow,
yeah,
and so I don't think to like pull the trigger anymore as such. But at the same time, I've got a thumb trigger release and I have not actually used it in years. I haven't used it properly at all. So I really should go back to that and just give it a shot and see what it's like.
yeah. I do change. Like I will change a release every now and again, just if I'm feeling a bit off with that one, I'll just go right. I might try a different style. Maybe it's a shorter thumb barrel or
Mm-hmm.
a smaller thumb barrel or something.
Because
Just something
UVs have
I'm
like a real fatty, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that I'm not a massive fan. I can like they're good, but it can be a bit different. But that's like with the stem. As soon as I got it, I put the shorter thumb barrel on it and the thinner one, and it was just so much more comfortable. It sat in my finger perfect, and yeah, it was just felt way more better on the shot, and that's what I've sort of stuck with now and haven't had a drama with at all.
Is it the Onyx? Is that what you've got? Or
Yeah, Onyx Clicker.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
that's the one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. What do you think is like been almost like what do you think has helped you to be a better hunter when it comes to bow? Is there anything that kind of stands out for you?
A better hunter. Probably being more patient, really. That's about
Mm.
it. But I've learned over the years you need to be a lot more patient instead of rushing stuff. Like
I feel like that's time in the bush too, right? Like
yeah,
it's
that's
almost like you
exactly
have to
right.
earn your stripes with it before you realize it
Yeah.
because you just
Like
want to get every opportunity first.
yeah, like I used to see an animal and go, there's a goat over there, I'm running. Like
Yeah.
quick before he gets away. But you eventually learn, just sit back, watch the animal, just, you know, that's it. Just sit and watch it. Like
Mm.
see what he's doing, where's he going. So yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting how much time you have, right? And it's
Mm,
that reminder to yourself of they don't know you're here. Like, doesn't
mm,
matter what happens right now because they don't know you're here. They can walk
Yeah,
across right in
that's
front of you.
exactly
It
right.
doesn't matter because they don't know you're here. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's the I still do it to this day where I'm like, no, I got to get in front of him. You're like, doesn't
Yeah. Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I find that patience was probably my biggest thing. I wasn't patient enough.
Yeah.
Like years ago, I wasn't, I was just too quick, like rushed everything, like, punching me trigger at the same time. Like I was
Mhm.
just needed to slow everything down, slow me stalk down, slow me shot down, just really slow down and just be more patient with it.
Definitely. And then
Mm.
do you think, like, obviously, you were saying you were attributing a lot to Jace before with what you've learnt around boars. Like, obviously, hunting with people has also been very insightful for you then.
Yes. Yeah, well, even just meeting Jace, I was probably an average bow hunter just before him, and he's sort of just, he's like, he even tells me after a while, he goes, you sort of picked your head up since I've first took you. Like we first went out and I shot a boar and stuff. He's like, you like become better as like a bow hunter sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, and that's
Watch you
just
progress. Yeah.
yeah, it's just the progression. Like it depends who you hunt with. Like people will tell, like if you have people like Jace that just tell you what's wrong straight up, like no fucking around,
Mm.
it's better for you than someone going,
Oh,
oh
definitely. It's
yeah,
like
it's all
having a
right. Like
coach, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's like oh yeah, no, it's all right. You're doing all right. But if he just tells you straight up, like fucked up with shit, like, but yeah, it's been good hunting with like a few other people and stuff, learning how
Definitely.
other people do it and stuff like that. Yeah.
I always like, in particular, if you've got a camp with a few different people and you get to hunt
Hmm.
with, say, three different people over three different hunts or three different days, that's always really cool to see, like, how each different person approaches it differently.
Hmm.
I always like to bounce the ideas off. I'm like, oh, how would you approach this? Like, so if it's my stalk, I'm like, how would you tackle it? What's your plan?
Hmm.
And hear what they have to say. And then I'll be like, okay, well, this is what I was thinking. And then bouncing the ideas off between you and be like, oh, this is why that would or wouldn't work. And then, yeah, I just like that concept. It's nice to kind of
Yeah.
see inside other people's minds.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like I remember I took Jace on his sort of first like decent rut camp sort of trip and
Hmm.
I wanted to we sort of always went our separate ways and I was like, oh, I'll just see how like what he does, see what he does or whatever. And so I went and watched him and it's just completely different to what I do. It's like, no, that's wrong, no, that's wrong. But it's not. It's just how
Yeah.
they hunt and
Yeah.
there is better, like say there is a better way or something, you might tell them, let them know, just, yeah, this is how you should try. Like maybe you hear a crow and then you're just absolutely pelting for it. You're not sitting there maybe listening a bit longer, trying to pinpoint where he is or something like that. It's all little things sort of add up and,
Yeah.
you learn off each other, bouncing off each other or whoever you're hunting with or, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You said
Mm,
before that you guys are kind of only hunting for the big boars, like first half hour light,
mm,
last half hour light.
mhm.
And then you said during winter it does change slightly. What does, like, for instance, during this winter, how are you guys approaching your hunts? Are you kind of going out for a few hours in the morning, hanging back for lunch, and then going back out for the afternoon, or are you sticking out all day long,
There is days where you will stick it out all day long.
just
So
when everything's out?
just if you have like the right little drizzly rain or something, you
Mm,
go, fuck, this is good weather. Like,
yeah,
let's let's stay out all day, just glass, look, cover some country.
it's
But
overcast and
then,
they have a reason to be
yeah,
out. Yeah,
yeah,
especially
that's
when
exactly
it's
right.
really cold as well. I find
Hmm.
like those really crisp days, they want to be moving because it's so cold. It's like it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense for them to sit down.
yeah, that's exactly right. Well, if the sun's not out and they're not going to go back to bed to warm up. Like they're
Mm,
going to stay out, moving around, feeding, keeping all that. But if you have a real sunny, it could be really cold, but if you have a real sunny day, as soon as that sun hits them, because they're black, most of them are black.
heat
They're
up.
just heat up straight away, and they're like, righto, I'm going off to bed. Stuff it.
Mm,
Like, so it just sort of depends on your weather and your sun and your clouds and your rain and all that sort of stuff. It all comes together in some sort of way. So that's
yeah.
how you determine. It might not be through the weather, but it could be like it, you'd like see the weatherman goes, "Oh, yeah, right, it's meant to rain tomorrow," but it doesn't. It's like that's just changed your hunt
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah,
really.
definitely.
So,
Would you
mm.
prefer like windy days or not windy days, or what are you looking for? Like, what's an ideal
uh,
day?
I it depends what I'm hunting. But I particularly like real windy days, just
Consistent
because
wind.
it's yeah, well, consistent wind and it's just so much easier to stalk.
Yeah,
Like
get away with a lot.
so much easier. Get away with a lot more, like bit more noise. And but whether is if you have a calm day, you're just fucking watching every little leaf, little stick on the ground, and it's like can be full on. But I love the wind just howling most of the time.
Yeah, definitely.
But
It definitely does change the whole day, right?
yeah, that's exactly right. But you can't have it perfect all the time, so you just got to
No.
deal with
The
it.
worst part is when you think you pick the wind and then you get into the wrong
Yeah,
side of the hill and then
yeah,
it's just it howls and you just ruined the whole day. You're like, oh god
yeah,
damn it, why we even bother?
yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Mm.
How about ambitions? What do you want to go and is there any like hunts that you want to try and go after? Is there anything that you've got in, set in your eyes of like deer you want to shoot or animals you want to shoot in general?
Probably this year, really want to try and get out and chase a few chital this year.
Yeah, cool.
At some point, if it comes up, like I'm busy with work and stuff at the moment, but
Hmm.
if that, but other than that, probably I sort of want to go to Bulgaria and try those fallow over there and
Yeah, nice.
stuff like that. So I'd love to do that. Like I know we get fallow every year, but I just want something a bit different country, different terrain, different everything.
Definitely.
I'd like to sort of get away from home and try out that, or even if it's just going up Northern Territory, chase a scrubber or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to Randy about Bulgaria again the other day. We were just having a chat
Mm,
on the phone and um just about how different it is, right? Compared to
yeah,
like a communal scrape here where you get kind of a mob of maybe 30, 40 deer on it.
hmm,
That seems like wild. And then you get over there and it's like times that by 10, like 300 deer just
yeah,
on the scrape. Like, what
yeah,
the heck? Um, have you seen Wildman Production, Wildman Films, I think he is on Instagram?
yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen
I have,
like
I have.
that lek essentially that he has on the block? That is wild to
Yeah,
watch.
it's crazy. I don't know what he's got breeding down there, but it's crazy. It's just deer everywhere. But I seen his chopper shoot video, which was a bit shit. That was a really good video. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was talking to we went to a Bucks party down in Jindabyne, which is he's down that way somewhere, like in the snowies essentially.
Mm,
And yeah, I went to a Bucks party a few years ago. This was like when I very first started getting into hunting, and one of the boys broke the oven. It had like a lock on it, and he tried to open it so he could put some garlic bread in while he was drunk, and smashed the screen in it. So I had to get an electrician out. And sure enough, this guy lived on a block, and he's like, "Dude, I've got a small block, it's like 50 acres or something." He's like, "The amount of deer I put down a year," he's like, "I spend over $5,000 just on bullets every year to get through the deer that I'm shooting." And he's like, and I'm not like, he's like, yeah, we
mm,
keep them for dog meat and stuff like that. Like we do what we can with them. But he's like, we've just got that many deer that you can't do anything with them. Like there's just
mm,
ridiculous amounts of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's yeah, Wild Man puts up some crazy stuff. Like that lek he put up this year, there was just barks everywhere, females everywhere. It was just
It almost
I
makes it
couldn't believe
impossible
it.
though, right? Like,
Oh, it makes it so much harder when you
yeah,
have all them eyes. But well, I'm not to say I haven't hunted stuff like that, but but with
yeah,
all the eyes, I'm assuming it
I'm
makes it a
sure it
lot
would
more
be.
harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So nah, he's got some good country down there.
Where's the closest chittle to you guys?
Oh, closest chittle. Oh, I have no idea, eh? Um, I think probably about 7 hours is a small population or something around there.
Yeah, okay.
But it's hard to come by unless you go right up into Queensland. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna have to pay to hunt them, but
Yeah,
I won't be able to
definitely.
get access to them or anything. But yeah, I don't know. They're hard to come by in New South Wales, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting just to watch how the different deer are populating in different locations now. Like just seeing as they spread,
Mm,
like fallow just seem to take wherever they go. It obviously they love
yeah,
it down there where it's a bit colder, but there's fallow popping up all around Brizzy at the moment. Like just in the outskirts of
yeah.
Brizzy, they're all in like the suburbs. One of one of my friend's friends was sending him pictures from his pool, and there's fallow deer, like it's an infinity pool, and on the end of the infinity pool, there's all these fallow deer just down there eating. Like it's just wild.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, it's like the sandbar and Russo. Like I'm down in Newcastle right now. It's not unusual to go out and see them, really.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and they're just every time I come down, they're further up the road, dead on the road from someone hitting them. Than every other time. Like they just keep going up and up. It's just the deer population is just crazy at the moment. Just
Mm.
crazy, absolutely everywhere.
I mean, I also wonder to the point of like you think about the genetic side of things, especially after talking to Roy Sloan from Wapiti Foundation, he was talking about his genetics and how he actually saw an improvement of genetics once they changed the female to male ratio essentially. And so
Mm,
it's like when you're talking about in your block where you've got one buck servicing 20 does, like
mm.
you do wonder what it does to the genetics as well. Like if he's a
Yeah,
great
that's
buck,
exactly
that's
right.
awesome. But if he's not, then that's a lot of shitheads come around.
That's the problem with our place. That's why you got to manage them a lot
Mhm.
because you have so many animals. Like not only is it for the farmer, but you want to grow those trophies out a little bit at least,
Mhm.
and sort of have one maybe next year come through or something. But they're just really got to control the numbers. It's like it's some crazy amount. If you have 100 deer to a block, you're meant to shoot like 40 or 50 of them to manage them. That's just to manage them.
Mm.
But if you want to get rid of the numbers completely, you nearly have to just shoot them all. Like they
Yeah,
just
it'd be it like you imagine. So what, if you got 50 deer on your
hmm
block, I'd say what 40 of them are probably going to be does, let's say. And then if
yeah.
each one of those are dropping a fawn every single year,
hmm
and that's another 40 to your population, so that 50 becomes 90 very quickly within a year.
Yeah.
That 90 then becomes whatever, like let's say 120, 130, 140 very quickly then that
Mm.
next year. Like you can see why they populate so quick.
Yeah. That's exactly right. They're just very hard to manage. Like
Mhm.
once they're sort of out of hand, you're just like, well, this is crazy, but you just try your best. The best way I reckon is probably shooting out your bucks, but yeah, it's not easy. You don't really want to do it,
Do
but
you actively shoot your does throughout the year at all?
oh yeah, all the time. Like I shot one just the other week just because like the boys wanted some meat and I was like,
Hmm.
right, I'll shoot what I can and you can have some and try some and
Yeah.
like I got a few fellas down here that were like, bring us some meat and I was like, yeah, righto. So,
Yeah,
I'm
they
shooting
like it.
doe. Oh, they loved
Yeah.
it. They loved it. So, but one of the boys is a chef too, so he'll
Oh,
cook it up properly next time.
yeah. Tell him you can have some if he cooks it for you.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I'm constantly shooting everything. Like even throughout the rut, I'm shooting does. Take
Hmm.
back a bit of meat, like just chuck it on the campfire or something real quick and eat that. Like
Yeah.
I'm just, you're sort of just you're managing them, you're shooting them. The farmer's happy.
Yeah. Actually, I took the buck meat from this year's rut and
Mm.
I wanted to prove everyone wrong in the sense of like it's just about how you cook it, and it is. But fuck, it takes a lot of work. And I'm like, I get it now. Like I understand.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I've got
yeah.
a heap of meat, but it takes a long time to prepare it. There's a lot of effort that goes into everything. I got out a bunch the other day that I'd bagged up ready to mince, and I pulled
Mm.
out the mince bag, and there was like the bit of fat and silver skin that I hadn't cut off. And that was like the rankest smelling piece of meat I've ever, like it was foul, dude. And
It's it
oh, it was
it's
like,
tough.
oh man, it was rancid. Like it literally is, it made me like gag. I was like, oh, and then I
Yeah.
tried to trim off all this silver skin and stuff, and there was just so much on it. Like it was essentially like skirt and all the small cuts. And I was like, you know what? This is more hassle than it's worth. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
It,
never again. I'll listen to the boys now.
yeah. Yeah, Bucks are pretty yeah, especially that time of year it's not in very enjoyable. Like it's very tough. Like you can do it, like you said, but
Definitely. I think earlier, right? Like I got mine literally, it was, let's say, 10th or 11th of April, like right in the peak
mm,
of it. And
mm,
you can even smell the odor on it a bit when you're butchering and stuff. You're like, yeah, he's got a tank,
yep.
like a stank to him essentially. But I'm like, nah, I'll be able to do stuff. And I'll be honest, I have cooked some really nice meals with it, and it's made me be very creative, like using a heap of wine in my cooking,
Mm.
doing slow cook meals, and stuff like that. But even like I'll usually cook venison to like a medium rare or a rare even. But you do that with this, and you still get that shitty taste in the middle of it. So you have to really
Yeah,
cook it through. And I was talking to someone about, it, and they're like, I think it's actually in the blood. Like if you drop a little
yeah,
bit of the blood on the pan, you'll smell it. So getting as much of the blood out of it as well before you cook with it. But yeah, it was interesting learning process.
yeah. It's well, I think we've all been there, anyways. But yeah, it is very tough on deer. But that does make sense. I didn't even think of that. The blood, yeah, that,
Blood and the silver skin, like yeah,
yeah,
all those parts where it
yeah,
kind of sticks to.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, it's very tough to cook that the old buck.
Yeah, I've got a lot of wines in my cupboard because I don't drink wine at all. So I got all this red wines in my cupboard now that I bought purely for this buck.
Just just 10 bottles of wine for one backstrap.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Got to get that flavor in.
Yeah,
No, it's not that bad. No, I went and
yeah.
bought I went and bought four different bottles, I think based on what I was doing some reading. It was like I think it's a Malbec, maybe, a Shiraz, uh is it Savin Blanc or Sav Blanc? I don't know. I don't drink wine. Something like that. But yeah, I think they were the three they end up with.
Yeah. Something, I
To
suppose.
me to me honestly it all tastes like and smells like church wine. It's like it reminds me of that. And then all white wine tastes like goon bag. Yeah, I got
I never
badly
even
drunk
hit on
on
that
goon
one.
when I was young, and it just tainted me ever since.
And that's it, never again.
Yeah, no, silver fucking princess, you know.
Uh,
And so what about your salmon block? Is that something you're going to try hit up again, or sorry, get to?
I have got to it one year, but there was a couple rifle shooters on it, and that was the last year actually. And so I just didn't even bother. I just went trout fishing and caught a
Yeah,
couple
okay.
brown trout and stuff. But I want to get down there this year and really put like I need to put cameras up and all this stuff, but
Hmm.
it's tough because it's so thick, steep, nasty, just sandbar country pretty much.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I really haven't had to spend much time, had the chance because it's so far away too. It's like a 14-hour drive or something from home. So,
Yeah, it's a big commitment.
but yeah, I will get down there eventually and properly look it out, hopefully for like a week or something. But
Hmm.
yeah, because I'd love to shoot a sandbar. I really would love to shoot a sandbar.
Have you found that your care for distance has changed a lot since getting into hunting?
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
for me, a 5 hour drive, it used to be like, oh God, I got to drive 5 hours. Now I'm
yeah,
like, yeah, whatever. Like that, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
You want me to do it
Yeah,
tonight?
that's
I'll be there tomorrow. Let's go. Like,
yeah, that's right. I'm leaving like some mornings I'll leave at like 1 o'clock from home, get to the
yeah,
block at like 4:35 and you're like, yeah, well, I'm hunting. So
yeah, exactly. I'd be happy. It's all good.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. It's like working away from home at the moment. Like it's 4 hour drive home and I'm just like, oh well, I'll just do that this
yeah,
weekend or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so
Yeah, it changes the perspective very quickly.
it does, yeah.
And so like with your chiddle, is that something
Mhm.
you'll pretty much just try get up at Charters Towers then if you go for them? Like up
Yeah,
around that area?
that'll be somewhere in that area or something. I haven't really gone into depth with it yet, but I've been checking stuff out, like just
Didn't
going
Jay shoot
through.
one recently? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. It was a good stay. It was actually a little bit ago. It wasn't too recent, but yeah, he got an offer up on someone's block up there. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, he
sick.
got the yeah, it was really good. He always rings me and goes, "Not a big one." Yeah, yeah. That's what I look forward to the most. But
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
it was a
nice
good.
nice to have buddies like that to be able to share stories with, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it was a very nice stag, real old fella. I got to look at his head not long ago. So yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Sweet, man. Well, is there anything that you think I should have talked to you about that we didn't get to chat on?
Not particularly. I think you covered everything pretty well.
Look at you. I just scrolled back on your Insta and saw all these young photos of you. How old are you?
I'm 21.
No way. Get
Yeah.
out. That's wild. That's hilarious. I didn't think you were that much older. I thought you were late 20s maybe, not 21. That's crazy.
No, there's a few old photos on there I probably need to take down.
Man, yeah, you must have been 14 back then.
Yeah, I was very young when I started shooting stuff. So,
Yeah, that's wild. Oh,
mm,
dude. Well, no, I appreciate your time, man. It's cool to chat and it's awesome. I think especially what's very interesting to me is watching how excited bow hunters can get about pigs, especially big boars, once they understand a big
mm.
boar and a big mountain boar. Like just to watch the adrenaline dump for a grown ass adult, like is wild for me. And
Yeah.
it was something, and I said this many times before, it's something I didn't understand until I started, like until I got the chance to shoot them. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. Like 100% I get it. And it's just getting even more exciting every single time now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I remember I got the nerves up real bad on one ball one day because Jace was in my ear saying, "Oh, he has a shot and it's huge and look at the hooks on it." And I was coming at the foot. I was like, yes, I was like,
All the
"No,
things
I
not
can't
to
shoot
say.
it.
Yeah.
I can't shoot it." I was too shaky and nervous. But yeah, I do love the adrenaline and stuff on the pigs and the bucks and stuff. That's what keeps you going. So,
Definitely. It's almost interesting
mm.
though. It's like, um, if you're ignorant to it and you don't understand the
Mhm.
teeth or anything like that, then it wouldn't bother you. But it's the fact
Yeah,
that
you
like
wouldn't
the
care.
deeper you get in, you're like, oh, it's got teeth out its mouth. Like, oh God.
Yeah.
The
Don't look at
excitement.
its antlers. Oh fuck, it is massive.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So
One of
yeah.
my most favorite days was when I went out hunting with Liam and his dad on the hills, and they were just like the biggest kids together. It was so awesome to watch. And they were like giggling. They're like, "Look at his teeth! Oh my God!" Like it was just like
Yeah.
it's such a memorable moment of like, and I got to shoot an awesome boar off of it too, which is cool.
Yeah.
But that moment of us standing on the hill looking over these boars was almost more exciting than going down and actually shooting them.
Yeah.
Just them just pumping and getting so excited. It was yeah, it was awesome.
And then it makes you just as nervous when you're trying to shoot
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely. I went, don't fuck it up in front of them. Don't fuck it up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. Nah, it's awesome when you get to sit back and watch something. But yeah, I think it's all the memories that keep us going and friends and stuff. So
Definitely the
yeah.
adventures that set you up with. I mean,
Mm.
awesome that you get into it at your age, right? To know that you've got another 70 years ahead of you to be able to do it. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we all, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, if people want
Yeah.
to follow along your journey, it's Logan Hawker on Instagram, right? That's the place to follow.
That's it. That'll
Yeah,
be
sick.
it.
Awesome, man.
Sweet
Appreciate your
as.
time, bro.
No worries. Thank you very much.